What is up, my friends? It's Edward Tomilloso, your Honda Man Internet Sales Manager here at Honda of Santa Maria. And today I have the highly anticipated 2017 Honda Civic Hatchback EXL with navigation. Before I get into the review, just a little housekeeping. To the right-hand side of your screen, you're gonna see these tabs that you can click if you are on a desktop computer, so you can skip to the parts that are most important to you. Second part of housekeeping is I do sell cars here at Honda of Santa Maria, so if you do come to Honda of Santa Maria, ask for me and I can help you out. Now, to the review. The reason this hatchback is so highly anticipated is because it is the third variant released by Honda of the 10th generation Honda Civic. They've just released the sedan and the coupe. Now it's the hatchback's turn. This vehicle is made exclusively in the UK, which means that it's traveling far distances to get to where I am here on the West Coast. This also will be the platform for the upcoming Type R, which should be dropping in the springtime. It's supposed to get somewhere around 340 horsepower, so no big deal. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the EXL with navigation. The sticker price on this vehicle is $25,300 before destination charges. On the exterior of this car, the body lines are very raked from the roof, and they carry along the body lines around the sides to the back, really highlighting that rear. In terms of style, this car is a ½ inch larger than the coupe and it is shorter than the sedan, but the wheelbase is the same. This color right next to me is known as the Sonic Gray Pearl. It's a brand new color for Honda, and one more color that Honda is bringing back is the polished metal, which was in the 2012 Civic, so now it's back. Starting on the front of the hatchback Civic, it's going to be very similar to the sedan variant, except where you get the chrome accents above the grille, you're going to get a blacked out finish, making the car look very aggressive. Below that, that piano black finish carries around the fog lights, and around those fog lights, there is a honeycomb inset. Moving along the side of the EXL with navigation, you get these attractive 17-inch alloy wheels. They're exactly like the EXTs on the sedans, except they blacked it out. I feel like this really pops with this color, and if you got it in the white pearl. Super sharp wheels. In terms of trim level, this really special thing about the Honda Civic hatchbacks is even the LX, or entry level or base model, comes with alloy wheels, so you cannot get a hatchback with hubcaps. That is so cool. So 16-inch on the LX, you get 17-inch on the EX and the EXL, and the Sport and Sport Touring give you 18-inch alloy wheels. Moving along the side of the vehicle, you will notice that it still has your smart key entry. You have the ability to lock the car using the black button or just by touching the inside of the handle. You'll also notice that this car does have a moonroof. And with that smart key entry, you get remote start. And if you continue down the roof line, you will notice that on the hatchbacks, you get a two-tier spoiler effect. You have a body-colored spoiler on the top just behind the antenna, and you get a lip spoiler right where the glass meets the back end. Super aggressive look. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the back of the hatchback, thus the hatchback name. You may think that visibility might get a little compromised with this design, but it is not. You definitely get a good view of the rear, and under the spoiler, you will see the window continues. Car still gets a backup camera, and lower you do get the honeycomb finish, just like they did in the front. You do get LED brake lights, and you also get LED daytime running lights in the front. And then moving even below that, this car does have dual exhaust. On the EXT, on the EXL with navigation, and on the LX, those dual exhausts are hidden. But on the Sport and Sport Touring models, you will get dual tipped center exhaust. So I can't wait till that comes out, which by the way, they haven't released when they will be out, and they haven't released pricing on the Sport and the Sport Touring at this point. Moving back up, you will notice, since it is a hatch, you do get a rear windshield wiper. One cool thing with this rear windshield wiper is with the defrost, there's actually a zone here where they made it so if it's frozen outside and your wiper is frozen stuck to your windshield on the back, it will defrost it so it can be free to move. Good thinking, Honda. And last but not least, on the passenger side of the vehicle, on the rear view mirror, this does come with Honda's Lane Watch. The only trims that will not have Honda Lane Watch on the Civic Hatchback will be the Sport and LX models. But everything else will. Awesome. And now the interior of the hatch. This thing is awesome. So let's talk about dimensions. With the seats folded up in this position, you get 25.7 cubic feet of usable space. You also get this cargo cover, which you can change from one side to the other and just slide back and forth. Very innovative. Another thing that they did is they hid all of your spare tire jack tools on the side here in this panel. And then if you wanted even more space, you can fold these down, and that gives you 46.2 cubic feet with the rear seats down. With those rear seats folded forward, you do have 52 inches from the back of the driver's seat all the way to the back of the trunk. And just for reference, we have these two pieces of luggage that we're gonna put in the back. You could actually leave them standing and it closes rather easily, very easily. Again, just for reference, take a look at that. Looks really spacious. And especially if we were to fold down the seats, you have a lot more storage space. Going back to that cargo cover, this is really nice in terms of privacy because when you draw the shade, up here you have another cover that's attached but removable to the deck lid. So when you close it, you cannot see what you have back there at all. In terms of performance, under the hood of the Civic Hatchback, you have the 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. That gives you 16.5 pounds of boost. Amazing. Also, this car will give you 174 horsepower. On the Sport and Sport Touring models, you will get 180 horsepower. With all trim levels, you will get 162 pound-feet of torque. That power plant is mated to a CVT transmission. The main benefit to the CVT is it keeps the vehicle in the optimum power band. The benefits to the CVT is it maximizes power while maximizing fuel efficiency. This vehicle gets 40 miles per gallon on the highway, 31 in the city, with a combined EPA rating of 34 miles per gallon. The back seat of the hatchback is very, very roomy. I slid this seat all the way back as far as it can go. I definitely am confident that will accommodate somebody 6 foot. We do have ample leg room here. My feet are under the seat and already up against the seat, but there is some leeway in terms of leg room. And then up above, the beauty of the hatchback is it has a higher roof line compared to the coupe or the sedan. So you do get extra room above your head if you go for the hatchback over the sedan or the coupe. While I'm still back here, I do have to give kudos to Honda for putting leather on the door panels, even in the back seats. What that tells me is quality. When you look at the stitching, they have the gray stitch with the perforated leather on the front seats. They made sure that even the people in the back feel like it's a higher end vehicle. You even have a center armrest complete with cup holders. One last thing I will mention while I am back here is they added tweeters even in the back. This car does come with an 8-speaker audio system with 180 watts powering it. I will let you know also that the Sport Touring will have somewhere around 540 watts in terms of a sound system with 12 speakers. In the front seat of the Civic Hatchback, it is very similar to the sedan. I will include a link below with the review that I did on the sedan if you want to see the interior of that vehicle. The differences on this car are the trim. You get a almost metallic carbon fiber going along the dash as well as the side panel of the vehicle. Other than that, it's going to be very, very similar. You're going to get the nice buttons behind plexiglass. So the really cool thing is it won't wear out over time. You're not going to wear out the print on the steering wheel. I absolutely love that. You're going to get leather wrapped surfaces everywhere. You get that on your steering wheel and on the shift lever as well as the armrests on both sides. You do have a sliding armrest here. Does open up, showing you a deep well that can fit so many things. Has a couple tiers for your different size drinks that you can accommodate. You have water bottle holders on the sides. You also have a deep cubby here that will hide your wires for your phone. And you have a cubby here where you can keep your phone. Speaking of phone, this car does have Apple CarPlay capabilities as well as Android Auto capabilities, which I did do a few videos on that on my channel as well. I will put the links below on the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto. You do get a 7-inch capacitive touchscreen here. It is a higher resolution screen. Shows you a lot of different options in terms of trip computers. You do have your Pandora controls there too. You have a sliding volume. They did try to keep it very, very clean. In terms of climate control, you do have dual zone climate control as well as heated seats. Up here, you do have an LCD color display. Very, very dynamic screen that you can control right from your steering wheel. You can see your turbo indicator, how much boost is being used. You'll see your phone capabilities. You'll also see your audio mirrored onto that screen. It is a very slick image, especially since you have a fully digital speedometer. Speaking of speedometer, let's get some speed on this thing. Let's go on a drive. So just started it with the push button start. Let's go. So this car does have an electronic parking brake. One thing I didn't mention earlier is this car does have a capless fuel filler, which is really cool because if you actually did have a cap, it could dangle and scratch the car. Now going back to the drive itself, this car has a cool feature called the brake hold. When we come to a complete stop, I don't have to keep my foot on the brake. I could take my foot off the brake and we just stay here until I put my foot on the gas. That comes in handy when you are at a longer stop sign or if you're maybe at the drive-thru at Starbucks or something and you didn't want to keep your foot on the brake. In terms of visibility, I can definitely see well out of the back. Again, that window on the back actually extends all the way to under the spoiler. All right, now going back to the driving dynamics, this car feels firmly planted. I will have to say this car does have all-wheel disc brakes on all trim levels. Even the sedans, even the LX will give you all-wheel disc brakes. In terms of handling, it is definitely feeling very precise to me. Going back to that CVT transmission, the beauty of it is it keeps the engine at the optimum power band to translate that power into power to the wheels. This car is very, very responsive. Going back to the gauges, the tachometer actually surrounds your miles per hour, so it's a very efficient use of space on the instrument panel. In terms of road feel on this car, it translates well without being too rough. I like that about the Civic. In terms of road noise, if I were to compare this to, let's say, the 9th generation Honda Civic before they did all of the re-engineering, it is a lot quieter than that version of the Civic. So if you've driven the sedan, it's going to be very similar. I drive a sedan myself, the EXL sedan, and I feel like it's just as quiet as that. All right, going back to the navigation screen, this is a Garmin-based navigation. It's very responsive. One of the things I really like about it is it shows you topography, so you can actually see the changes in elevation as well as bodies of water. So nice. Of course, it gives you the turn-by-turn directions. So this car is a front-wheel drive vehicle. You can almost feel it pulling you ahead. I really like how that feels. Overall, I feel like it's definitely a win for Honda in terms of comfort, in terms of the driving capabilities. It is definitely a win. That was my review of the 2017 Honda Civic EXL with navigation. In my opinion, it is an all-in-one perfect combination of performance, of utility, and of all-around good buy. And as you can see, it fit all of Josh's stuff in the back very easily. Again, I'm Edward Tomilloso, your Honda man from Honda of Santa Maria. If you decide to purchase a vehicle here at Honda of Santa Maria, come in and ask for me. Also, if you like this and you want to see more reviews, more news about the newest Hondas coming out, definitely subscribe. I'll catch you on the next review.